IUL in the industry. So when it comes to cash accumulation and long-term growth, juvenile policies, that kind of thing, the pass setter is unbelievable for that. It has instant approval on juveniles, and it's just we did one the other day where we showed a 2.5 times growth compared to like an NLG policy, where our cash accumulation I think it was $750 a month, so it was a highly aggressive child's policy. But by the time the child was taking retirement funds out, with NLG they were getting $500,000 a year, and with us it was $1.4 million a year. So the difference was staggering over the course of a lifetime. So that's always a great option. But today I want to talk strictly about Everlast, because I think a lot of things that you guys do with the IUL space is you want someone that can, have a death benefit guaranteed to stay in force for the rest of their lives so that they pay their premiums, that kind of deal. And I just want to show you what a really good product we have here. And we've made some massive changes to it to kind of accommodate Family First Life and other, really fast growing companies like that. So I'm going to get into this real quick. We have 3 different things that we're trying to do with IULs, right? We're going to create a legacy. The legacy is going to be like the death benefit, right? When you pass away, you're going to pass on a legacy to your family, to your children, that kind of thing. And so Everlast is made for that. It's one of the least expensive death benefit focused IULs in the industry. And then, of course, your living. So living is your living benefits. And we have a tremendous suite of critical, chronic, and terminal living benefits. The great thing about Everlast and our living benefits is that you usually have more death benefit to play with when it comes to if you had to accelerate, right? So because we usually end up with a higher death benefit, your clients are going to be able to pull out more money with their living benefits if they need it. And then finally, aspirations. So aspirations with F&G, our vision is, and our mission is to turn your aspirations into reality. So the same thing with your clients. If your clients have great aspirations for a better retirement, to pay their kids college, that kind of thing. So aspirations, that's the pass setter, will help you grow, a tremendous death benefit, a tremendous cash accumulation amount, so you can, use that money for whatever you aspire to. All right. So that's kind of our little mission statement right there, all in a nutshell. Real easy to tell the customers that. What we've done and what we've been begged to do by the field, and what I've begged my management to do, is to get rid of telephone interviews, get rid of APSs. And so that's exactly what they did on this product. So anyone between the ages of 18 and 60 and with face amounts 500,000 or below, you will never run into an APS and you will never run into a telephone interview. Approvals should take from instantly to maybe 2 days at the most for an approval. It's always going to be exam free at that level. So you're not going to, pivot to an exam or anything like that. If you're in that category, 18 to 60, 500,000 and below. Exam free actually extends up to $1 million. My experience with no APSs or TIs, it's going to be for $500,000 and below. And I think for the vast majority, that's the vast majority of your IUL business. Am I right, Gerson, on that? Like most of your face amounts are anywhere between 150 to 400,000 or so.
Yeah, I'd say a majority of the IUL business is usually easy solved, death benefit focused. I know we do have a lot of individuals looking to capitalize on like cash value focused policies, like myself. Savannah writes
Right.
a lot of them. But yeah,
Okay.
I think a lot of them are death benefit focused.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll get to a comparison here real quick. But the design is that we also increase the performance on the cap rates. So we have a 12% cap on this product with our S&P index. And I think that's pretty outstanding for a death benefit focused product. So here's just a list of some of the indexes that are involved with this. This is the one that I would honestly put the majority of my money in, the S&P 100% participation rate with a 12% cap. It illustrates at 7.08%, so it's going to show some decent returns. We also have a Barclays Trailblazer. This one has been down for the last couple of years, but it's consistently about a 9.5% look back with the Barclays. And it does have a 180% participation rate. So even if the index performs at 3%, your client's still going to end up with about a 6 or 7% return. So really powerful stuff. this is the most important thing I want to show you guys right now, because we're, as F&G, we're really trying to get in the door with Family First Life. We did about 12.5 million with y'all last year, which is a massive increase from the year before. So we're trying to double that number. We were trying to get to 25 million this year with you guys. It's off to a very good start. We're way ahead of where we were last year at this time. So the momentum is just going to be crazy, especially with this group right here. So Jay and I have talked a lot about, what we expect from Nonstop, and it's just the numbers can be staggering. Those numbers I saw in the beginning are just unbelievable. So you guys are doing a fantastic job. But when you look at just a very simple comparison, a 50-year-old male, standard non-tobacco, they have a budget of $200 a month, right? This will go with any budget. If you have $500 a month, the results are going to be the same. When you look at the total death benefit that you get with the Everlast, you're looking at 183,000. Mutual of Omaha, you're going to have 150. National Life 156. America 165. This is everything else exactly the same. But that's, to me, it's like if you can offer more coverage for the same amount, same price, there's no reason not to, especially how streamlined and easy this is to use now. The other thing that turns into is a higher commissionable premium for you. So your commissionable premium, because the face amount's higher, your target premium is going to be higher. With us, it's $36.92 in this case. Moo, you're only going to make $2,400. You're never going to make more than that. NLG, if they have rolling targets, it'll be $35.16. I'm just not sure if they have rolling targets on there. And then with America, your commission is going to be $2,400 a year, first year's premium, right? So the reason that we pay this whole entire thing out is because we have what are called rolling targets on the Everlast product. So it's a 2-year rolling target, meaning that you're going to get your normal advance of the 200 a month times whatever is the 9-month advance that you have up front. You'll make the rest as earned. So you'll make the full 2,400 in the first year, but then the second year, you're still going to get paid $200 a month until that full 3,692 is paid out to you. So for another 6 months into next year, you're still getting commission on this one plan as earned with, as long as it stays on the books, which, the persistency on these products is close to 90%. So most of them are going to stay on the books. So if you let's say you sell 10 Everlasts a month, you're talking, and even if it's just like this $200 a month budget, you're talking about $2,000 a month coming into you on commissionable premium for, the next, 2 year and a half, the next 18 months straight. Minus obviously you're going to have your advance up front, but then, 9 months from now, when that's over, from that 9 months, you're going to have like another, probably 9 months of $2,000 a month if you sold 10 of these products, and then just multiply that by doing 10 a month, and the numbers just can be outstanding. So you're getting paid a lot on the front end, but then you're also, have a commission that follows you for a long time. It's available on WinFlex. I don't know if you guys use WinFlex, but we have it through our platform through SalesLink. It's an iPipeline illustrated index. It's so simple to do. We have a quick solve on it. You just hit one button and you put in the premium. You put in how much premium they're paying and what mode they want it. So it's a very, very simple solve on our software, and will give you the maximum death benefit. It'll last to age 120 every single time. So you don't really have to do much about it. It's basically 2 buttons you have to click, and then you'll have the results for that. So, hey, submit an app today. Yeah, we've had some get approved within 24 hours already on this product. We've had instant approvals from for the healthier clients. The one thing I really want to hammer home, though, is to make sure, because we're not doing TIs and we're not doing any APSs, you have to make sure that you field underwrite this as best as you can. I think our application is slightly longer, maybe 5 minutes longer, because we ask a few more questions. But those are important, because obviously if someone doesn't admit to diabetes and it's all over their record, they might get declined based on what we actually know. So we want as much information as possible. We're taking up to Table 4 rates. So even if they're unhealthy, they're still going to get approved if they are admitting to everything that's on their record. Okay. So our target approval rate is 85%. So we want about 85% of these cases that come through to get approved, which does not mean that you put in your worst clients or you put in clients that have gotten declined before, because they're going to probably still get declined with us, depending on who you put them with before. But this is going to change the game when it comes to having the best product out there, having the highest commission for you guys. You can't really compete with it when it comes to death benefit protection, total performance. Because if we actually look deeper into this Everlast, you're going to see that it also has way better cash accumulation performance than Americo's product and NOG's product for the same price. So not only that, but, we're just talking about death benefit right now. That's really all there is to it. So that's all I got. Who's got some questions? I'm gonna see.
Question. Can you
Who's
help us
serious?
Question for you,
illustrate that
buddy.
on the website?
What's that?
Could you like maybe run us through how we would go to the F&G website and maybe make an
Absolutely.
illustration for the Everlast product and jump into the application?
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I've never done it, and I just want to make sure when I have a client on the phone, I'm not scrambling.
Sure. Oh yeah, super easy. All right, I'll just find an account here.
Larry,
Yes, sir.
do you recommend doing it on WinFlex or the website?
It's kind of our illustration doesn't link directly to the application, so you have to save it on your desktop either way. So it's really kind of your choice. I haven't used WinFlex in ages, but if that's what you use normally, then you can certainly do that. But I think it's kind of easier to do it, through our website, because then you're on the same page. Basically you're one click away from the application already.
And one cool feature about doing it online, like through the website, is you can actually sign on F&Gs like for the client and you like with consent instead of having to go to like DocuSign and then getting it signed. So you're not having to go through like another search engine. You can do it straightly through the illustration on the website.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Savannah.
Of course.
I bought Savannah's loyalty, just so you know. I bribed her. Just
Listen, it
it
was
wasn't
well
that
worth it.
expensive. It wasn't that
You see mine
expensive.
last night,
Show what you got. Yeah.
my
I mean,
butterfly from last night.
those are works of art you got there. So you could probably
Yeah.
sell those. Okay. Let me share my screen again and we'll get into an illustration real quick.
Fantastic.
So this is the, let's go back to the home page real quick. Sorry. This is your home screen when it comes to sales link. And what we'll do is we'll go to sales tools and down to illustrations. And then we have annuity and life. Obviously we're doing life. I'm under Jay Maska's account in case anyone wants to know. But so we'll start a new case. And then we'll just put in, we can fill all this stuff out later, but we'll put in, you guys are in Florida, most of you, right?
I'd say so.
Index Universal Life, find products. We'll go to Everlast and select.
It's nice that you guys use iPipeline as well. I'm very familiar with that with American National.
Yeah,
and
I've
other
never
companies.
seen, when I first started F&G like almost 2 years ago, like I'd never seen iPipeline for an illustration software. Our application is through Firelight with Hexure, which it's still really intuitive and easy. And the cool thing about that, we're setting everything up to be like instantly approved for all of our products. So it's a little more, I would say it's a little clunkier than like an America or an Ethos app. Those are all so simple, but it definitely is not hard. It's not difficult. And there is a cool version where, the cool feature with Hexure is that you can do that. You can hand over the controls from your Zoom link and have them sign right on the screen with you. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to run a quick solve just like this. And then we are going to just put in a modal amount. I can just do the one that we just did because it's a 50-year-old male. And that's it. Did you see all that? How hard was that? So I'm going to click the calc results button. This gives you like a really brief tabular detail of the policy before we print it out.
Hey,
And so,
Larry.
yep.
Hey, Larry, my best friend. You go back to your solves, and in the quick solve, instead of doing solve for face and accumulation, they haven't adjusted the default on that quite yet. So last one. There you go.
There we go. Oh, there's options for that on the quick solve? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I had no idea. That's really neat. See, that's why I always hit the calc results button because I'm like, I know I didn't get the right face amount there. So that helps. Well, that's cool. All right. So we're going to solve for maximum death benefit at 200 a month. And hopefully it's like right around 180 like we showed. Oh, sorry. I had this. Let's see. Change that to the initial premium. Oh, solve.
So this particular solve, so remove the check mark from the quick solve
Okay. Yeah.
formulary. So this
They didn't
particular,
change it.
no, they haven't. So that one says, hey, I've got a death benefit of 150,000. Find me the premium that goes along with it. So if you want to go down to the premium section formulary,
Yeah.
nope.
That would I have to solve for the face.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
yep, solve for, you have to, so when you start out a new case, you'll just have to go down to the premium section. And like Larry has it here, to specified level and put in the amount of premium that they want to pay. I don't know why that little box didn't pop up. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with your stuff, Layer Bear.
You gotta push none, solve for
You have.
none. It's because you have the face amount on. So solve for none,
Oh,
then redo it, and then say specified level again, and it should pop up off to the side.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
there we
That's
go.
in there.
And now you can do solve for premium. So put your premium in for, or solve for face, sorry. So put your premium in first, and then you can solve for face.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. See if it worked. When I thought they already adjusted that quick solve on here.
Not yet.
Okay. That's common. All right. So
Yeah.
the quick solve is still for the pass setter, which is max accumulation and income. So they're gonna adjust it so the quick solve will be for the Everlast. But there it is. That's the right death benefit. 184. Okay, so that's the same as our thing. But you can also see the guideline level on this. They can also put up to $4,120 a year as opposed to just the 2,400. So if they want to overfund it or put more money and get a better cash accumulation, they can certainly do that. But still, this is an extremely healthy policy. You could honestly show them stopping premiums at 70 years old, and it's probably going to carry on quite a long way because you have $42,000 of cash value in here. So you can mess around with this as much as you want to, but you can see that obviously it goes all the way to age. This one goes all the way to age 94 without putting any additional funds in it.
You get extra commission when they overfund it?
Your commission's always based on your target. Target's based on face amount. So target's always going to be based on face. The higher the face, usually the higher the commission is. But so overfunding doesn't really, it's kind of hard to get used to that when you sell a lot of term and that kind of thing. And you're like, oh wait, they're paying because for a perfect example, we had a $50,000 a month IUL, but the target, so it was 600,000 a year, but the target was only like 270,000. So it's a big difference between making 600 grand on a case and 270. It's still a lot of money, but yeah, it's a little different the way that it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is as simple as it gets. I can show you the actual illustration.
And then from there, you would just kind of know which inputs you put in, and then go to the application and put those direct inputs into the application.
Correct. Yeah, you would just basically put the amount of premium that you're putting in and the initial death benefit. So the initial death benefit here is 184,105, and then you save this or view it as a PDF, and then we can attach it right to our application.
Will it affect
do you have
the
the application
approval?
software? Because I can't do that through here.
Will it affect the approval if you
No.
don't attach the application or the illustration?
Or the illustration? No. You can do like in lieu of if you need to. And I'm
It's a
gonna
little
stop
bit easy.
sharing.
It's a little bit easier if you just upload the illustration though that you saved, because we need all that information anyway, right? If you go to the statement in lieu of illustration, it's about your premium, how long that's carrying for, what the rates are, what the cash value is at like 65 and drop box or something like that, where you drag and drop it into the space, and that's all we need. And yeah, I have the test software up. I can do that.
Awesome.
Okay.
I should be out too. I'm
Yep.
special. I'll use.
Will you go back to the illustration once you get a chance and show them how to sign from the illustration? Because that can kind of be confusing.
And oftentimes, Savannah, I'll be honest with you, I don't even do that. I just save it as a plain Adobe PDF, and I'll get to that here in the wizard in just a second. Because if you just save it as a plain Adobe PDF, let's see, 801, let's put my address in here. Not in Chicago, but that's okay. We'll change that to Des Moines. On this illustration software, if you do not do that signature process, it's going to ask you when you upload that illustration, are you giving us something with the signature or is there no signature on it? And if there's no signature on it, that's okay. The software is going to drop that signature on the appropriate page for you. Yep, Larry's got a driver's license most of the time. I'm pretty sure he's a decent driver.
No.
No?
No chance.
And this is a test environment. This test environment lets me do kind of whatever I want to do. Larry's 5 foot something, right?
5'8". What are you, crazy?
I'm just typing in numbers. I'm also going to say you're single too, which I know you're not. F and G, finance. You've only been with us 1 year, right, Larry?
2 years in June. Yeah.
Put in 500.
500 a year. That's about right.
We'll see, makes 50 a year. Yes, Larry's the same. And then we're going to verify that the driver's license match. This does a live verification to make sure you put in the right information. It also pulls those reports. Larry is
Nope.
the same, so we don't have a different payer. We're going to check on no. He doesn't have a second state. He's got one beneficiary for a spouse, wife.
You even know that. That's good. It's just one T, but that's okay.
I thought it looked a little funny.
No E either, so it's okay.
Fine. I'll make it perfect.
Exactly.
And Larry's going to do 184,000 because we want that Everlast level death benefit. Last I know, he doesn't smoke, doesn't have any other policies, and we're going to do 100% into the S&P 500 and $200 a month, $200 planned monthly, and then we can set up the bank draft now if you want to. If the client doesn't want to give you the bank information, they don't have to. I would encourage you to get the bank information right now so we don't have to do it later. And then I would always pick number one because that's going to draft as soon as this thing gets approved. It's going to pull the money out of their bank account. It's not going to risk the, hey, let's set up the draft on the 18th of the month. Oh, wait, I've already spent all that money. I don't like those conversations. I know you guys don't either. So this would get it going as quick and as fast as possible. And then financial institution information. I've never been great at guessing bank account information, so I'm going to click on no for right now, and we can go ahead and do continue. And we're going to let Larry sign this. So you can go ahead and go do the email request. I like to do sign now. So let's see, put the bank that in there, verify we've got all that information. And at this point in time, I can go up to Zoom and I can go to remote control. I don't think you guys can really see this on my screen right now, but I can find Larry and I can now pass control of my mouse over to Larry. So Larry's going to go through. I'm going to say, hey, can you go down to the bottom there on the left-hand side? We're going to review all this information. I need you to check mark these boxes. You can take a look at the forms as we go through them if you want to. And then we're going to get to this page where I need you to sign. So you can go ahead and type your full name right there. That'd be fantastic. Can't spell his name right though. Make sure your client's spelling their name right. That's going to be very important when it comes to signatures. And then where the city that he's at right now, we're going to make sure that, we'll say
Oh,
Nashville, but we'll say it's in Iowa. There's a Nashville in Iowa, I'm sure.
yeah.
Um, and then Larry's going to go ahead and click consent. And after he clicks consent and everything is good to go, or he can squiggle his.
They can. I was gonna say they can also like scribble their signature in there if they want to.
Yes. So Larry's going to go do that. It's going to go okay. I'm going to go back up here. Click on continue. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to remove control. So stop remote control is what I'm doing. We're going to go ahead and click on apply. Apply is going to take us into phase 2. Phase 2 is all medical questions, all of that information, and it's going to be uploading that illustration. So right here, we're just going to tell it, I am going to do an illustration, and I'm going to say, no, my illustration is not already signed. So Savannah, what you're doing is great, getting it signed beforehand. I just like this route a little bit better because I don't have to worry about going through that system. So I'm going to go through, ignore everything on my desktop. There's a lot there. Move this off to the side a little bit, and I'm going to drag and drop this here. All right. Click on upload. I've now got my illustration uploaded into here. Click on close. So just drag and drop and away we go. And you can click on next and get rid of that thing. We'll check on no because he doesn't have anything else pending. Obviously, you're going to go through these in great detail. Larry does not have what is that? That's a reverse mortgage. That's what that is. Nothing else going on. Larry has been declined for about 3 different cases. No, I'm going to not put that in there. Anytime you click on yes, it'll open up that space for you to add the additional information. So if Larry has been a reckless driver, give us that information. We're going to see it anyway. That's the thing, is that we see everything. We're just asking the client to disclose everything. So it matches with what we see on all of these reports. So click no, Larry is not a skydiver that I'm aware of, and we will go ahead and click on yes. We would actually put in Larry's doctor's information here. I'm going to bypass that to make this easier because I know you guys don't have a lot of time.
Is that necessary though? Do they need the doctor on there, or is that just kind of optional?
It's not necessary for your younger clients. I would say it is very much necessary for your older clients.
As in like 50 plus?
I would say anybody 40 plus, because once we start getting into the age of 40, then we start seeing, hey, you had to get a colonoscopy or a mammogram or whatever those additional things are. It's good to know that they have a doctor that they're going to get those physical checkups. They really start pushing for them right around the age of 40.
What if they don't have a doctor, like a primary care physician that's, maybe a local physician?
They go to
or a
urgent care?
doctor? Yeah.
Yeah, you can put down no, that they go to urgent care. With the Everlast product, I can't ask any questions, right? So we are going based on just what we see that you give us in this application, just what we're seeing in the report. We don't have the ability to reach back out to you and ask any follow-up questions. We don't have the ability to reach out to the client and ask, if it's under 500,000, I'm only making this decision off of what you're giving me in this application and what I'm seeing in the reports. And if your client is not telling you that they're going to a doctor regularly because they've got gout, I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll see all of that in the report, but I can't ask any of those questions. So it's probably going to lead to a decline. So the more information, have them pull up their My Chart while you're going through all of these questions. Have them see that application in front of them so that you can say, hey, what prescriptions do you have? Go out to My Chart, take a look at what your doctor sent over for you. Look at those. We want date, diagnosis, and doctor on any of those things. If he, let's go back up here to a good question. So let's see right here. Larry had some genetic testing for whatever that is. We're going to go ahead and click on yes. And we're going to type in on November 10th of 2023, Larry went in and had some genetic screening done for XYZ, whatever that is. I'm going to include all that information and I'm going to put that in there. And his My Chart is going to help him remember all of those things because I have absolutely no idea what's in my chart. I'd have to pull it up and go
What
through
is
all
my
of that
chart?
with you. It's your app on your phone. So when you go to the doctor's office, they've got My Chart app. I think Unity Point has it. There's Iowa Health has one too. All of the doctors are starting to go to the electronic records, and so they
Yeah, I
put
had
it.
like with United Healthcare, I have Hilo, and Hilo like lists every medication that I've been prescribed in the last 5 or 6 years. So typically, if they have a primary care physician, they will have some app, either MyChart or Hilo or something that they can go to, and they can actually look up everything that they've been prescribed. So if they have basically if they have healthcare, if they have a healthcare
Yeah,
plan, you can see all the claims that were made and claims for prescriptions if they can't remember a specific one.
Follow
That's
My
very
Health.
helpful.
I've got Follow
Yeah.
My Health. I've got UHC. I've got Iowa Clinic. Just depends on which doctor I go to.
Okay. So what's the maximum face amount for the Everlast?
I
There's
can
no, yeah,
go.
there's really not a maximum. I would say like 5 million before it gets really questioned, but the maximum for the no APSs and the no telephone interviews is a 500,000.
Okay.
If you go up to 1 million, it's still going to be exam free, but there's that possibility of we can do telephone interviews on that. From 500,000 to 1 million, we can do telephone interviews or APSs still.
Mhm.
And the minimum is 100 or 150 depending on their age.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yep. So this final question on the application, you've gone through everything. So are there other policies? Let us know. We can kind of link those together and keep them moving in the same process. And then are there any special instructions? So this special instructions is going to be, hey, let's send this to the policy owner. You can even just copy and paste it right there and it'll help you with that info. You can type it into if you want to. But that's going to have us send the actual policy packet to the owner's house. So you don't have to worry about delivering it. You would still need to get any amendments or delivery receipts signed and send those back to us. So you can do those through DocuSign. But if there's no other additional information, you can click on next, confirm that everything that you've put in up to that point is accurate and everything is good to go, and go right back into that second signature space. So second signature space is going to be just like the first one. We're going to have Larry go through and sign now. His driver's license has not changed, so we'll verify that. And go up here. And I will send that back over to Larry, tell him the same thing. Hey, check mark those boxes, make sure that you reviewed the information. We all know that they review it very, very detailed. And then we'll do that same
Yeah.
signature part.
Someone said, I hate the fact that you have to, go through every page. I'm like, I've never had a client ever even ask to go through the page. I'm like, you can just click through and read it later. Yeah, you don't have to actually open each page. Wow, that thing really loves to double the first letter, doesn't it?
I think it's you. It's all you,
It's
Larry.
probably me. Yep. And I'm not going to do
You
anything
forgot your
fancy.
city.
Oh, yes.
And
I
then
did.
really quickly, what is the minimum age for the Everlast?
You can go all the way down to 15 days old. I really wouldn't do it for anybody that's under the age of 18 because if they're, I'm going to remove Larry's control
Really
here
under the
real
age,
quick.
yeah, I was gonna say really under the age of probably 35. And,
Right.
it depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking just for death benefit, then yeah, it doesn't really matter what age. But typically, anyone under 35, they still probably want to look at more cash accumulation, where uh, the pass setter would be a better option for them. So, but yeah, but we do take all the way down to children, to juveniles.
So like let's say for example, someone wants to put money into an IUL, but they can't necessarily fund it to the point where the cash value would like make sense to focus on the cash value. Maybe they're 30 years old, can only afford to put in 50 to 100 bucks a month.
Right.
Would
Right.
you do the Everlast instead, or would you just do a death benefit focused path setter?
I would still say, I mean, so Everlast is still good at accumulating cash too. it's kind of more of a what's more important to them at that time. Like if they have family, if they have needs for a higher death benefit, I would go Everlast for sure, because you're talking about like an immediate need for a death benefit, and you're going to get a higher death benefit per dollar with Everlast than you will with anything else out there. And then it's more of a like, okay, is it just a temporary situation you can't afford more right now? Are you in between jobs, or is it do you have things that you believe your income is going to increase, that you'll be able to fund it more? Then you might want to look at pass setter, because if they have the ability to overfund down the road, there's still plenty of time between 35 and retirement age, to do that. You got 30 years of being able to grow that cash value. So it's really going to be like a case by case, I'd say. And finding the need is obviously extremely important. You guys are great at doing that. So what's the immediate need? What's the long term need? And that's going to more determine what your path is. But like, let's say you get them a $50 Everlast, and whatever, he gets $100,000 of death benefit, which is great. And then maybe a year down the road or so, he's like, hey, I want to really, I got better money now. I'm in a better position financially. I really want to put more money in here. It's probably better off just to start a brand new pass setter and build it according to what that is, right?
Okay, that definitely does make sense. And when you're going through the application, when it was asking for the bank info, you said you don't need the bank info on the application. How does that kind of work?
You would get it. It would be go ahead, Amy. You're better at that than me.
I was just gonna say, we'll ask for it later, right? We can't issue the policy without premium payments. So we would ask for it either in the process of getting it approved, or it would be part of the delivery requirements. So at one point or another, we are going to ask that information, but we know some clients are a little bit more sensitive when it comes to, hey, giving somebody in this virtual environment my bank account information. Some of those clients, it is helpful to wait and get the bank information after the policy's been approved and everything is good to go, and then we'll get it as part of the delivery packet on the back end.
Okay, would F&G reach out to them specifically, like give them a call, or would there be a portal for them to upload it themselves?
All the requirements are going to go through you, the agent. So
Okay.
we would talk to you, have you get the information. So everything that takes place before that policy is approved and issued has to take place with the assistance of a licensed agent that's selling them the product.
Okay. So in that case, if they didn't want to give me the bank info on the phone call when I first
Mm-hmm.
got them the policy, and I still have to reach out to them and get the bank info myself, or like for me, I don't know if they don't give me their bank info, I don't know if they're gonna give me the bank info even if they got approved. I guess
Yeah.
if they got approved, maybe it's more incentive.
And you
Yeah.
could always give them the form and have them send that over to us. So, I mean, they can be in charge of getting that information sent back over. It would just be, a wet signature, a little bit of a different time frame, because they can't do, most clients don't have a DocuSign account, right? So they can't take care of electronic signatures like we can. So it'd be a wet signature. They could mail it back into us, fax it back into us, but the client portal doesn't open until we have premium payments applied.
Okay, that does
Yeah,
make sense.
Kirsten, I don't think your team's going to run into that much, because that's what you're really good at, is getting that
Yeah.
information on the phone. And the other options were, you can set a date for it to come out. Amy's option is the easiest because it just comes out as soon as it's approved. But you can set a date for it to come out on another option. Or if they're super hesitant, you can say, look, this option right here that we're looking at, nothing gets billed until you tell me, or until I actually call in and tell F&G it's okay, they're ready for it, and then we set a date for it. So there's three options when you're collecting that information: either on approval, set an actual specific date for it to go, and then the third is to don't do anything until I tell you, basically. So I mean, one of those three is usually good enough for the client to be comfortable saying, okay, here's my info, and which one's easier for you. Most of the time they'll
Awesome.
just be like, just take it out whenever, just, it's like, because it's $100 or $200, so just take it out whenever. I don't care. But
Exactly.
yeah, you won't have any problem with that, because I think what I mean, if you look at the percentage of the times that you don't get bank info, it's same with every carrier. If you get it up front, it's way easier.
So much easier. Would you
Yeah.
say the ideal client for the Everlast would be individuals just looking for a permanent high death benefit life insurance policy, living benefits? They're just looking for death benefit and then obviously last the rest of their life. That's just the ideal client looking for permanent life insurance.
Yeah, like a permanent term policy, so people get so upset. Like I have one that's expiring this year. Now I got to go back and get reapplied and everything like that. And if I would have known about this product back in the day, I totally would have got one. I would have had one for the rest of my life, never had to worry about it again. But so that's the kind of person that you're really looking for, is that, maybe not, again, maybe doesn't have the budget to go, crazy on a pass set or just an IUL in general. But you can basically position this as this is the least expensive form of permanent life insurance in the industry. For, dollar for death benefit, this is the least expensive product out there, and it actually does have some cash value if you need it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to that. But yeah, I would say anyone, if they're younger, like let's say under age 50 and they have a family and that kind of stuff, if they don't have term, if they don't have, some other income replacement type of policy, then this is perfect for that. Just to like supplement what they need, or I'm sorry, if they already do have more of an income replacement term in place already, this is great, because you say as soon as your term runs out, chances are you're not going to need as much coverage. And then this IUL, buying it now is going to be way cheaper than buying it later. And, when your other term runs out. So you'll have double coverage right now. You'll have more right now, but then when your term ends, you're going to have this $200,000 or $300,000 for the rest of your life and never have to worry about being insurable. Like any changes to your health, not going to matter. You're going to have coverage until the day you die.
Would you recommend selling a policy on the illustration that says it's going to expire at some age?
Yeah, I mean, the average age is 78 for a female, or 81 for a female, 78 for a male right now. So if you're taking something into age 95, then I'm totally okay with that, because again, these are hypothetical policies, right? Illustrations are completely hypothetical, and they're also based on an interest rate that's so far below what the actual interest rate performs at, that chances are they're going to way outperform the actual illustration, and they're going to carry much farther anyway. But yeah, if you're up into age 95, the easiest question to ask is, anyone in your family that lived to 95? Okay, probably not. They might have one grandma that did, or, when did your dad pass away? When did your mom pass away? When did your grandpa pass away? That kind of thing. Like the average person is not going to live to 95 years old. And even if they did, like the odds of that policy still not being around are very slim, because there's just so much, so much more cash potential going into that and when we're illustrated at 7%, and it's a 12% cap on the S&P. So the look back is like 9.5. So it's going to outperform. Right. But yeah, I don't have any problem with it up to, if you're illustrating something that lapses at 70, then you have a problem. You probably have to redo it a little bit, like lower the death benefit a little or something. But yeah.
No, I think this is a fantastic product. I'm really looking forward to writing some. Does anyone have any questions at all? I think this is an awesome opportunity to ask some fantastic questions to Amy and Larry here, who work with F&G directly, and they can kind of answer any of the questions that have been lurking in the back of your brain. Anything at all from anybody?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Larry, this is Brian.
Larry.
Oh, Brian. Oh, Brian first. I heard him first.
Got a question for you. I got a couple of guys, they're business partners. They want $2 million worth of 20-year term.
Okay.
Their health is pre-diabetic and sleep apnea for one guy. The other guy's not been to a doctor for 4 years.
Okay.
Is that something I should take this product, or is it like?
Yeah, I mean, it would be, it will gain some cash value, but I mean, if you can get them approved for a term, that's ideal, right? For business partners. Is it a buy-sell agreement that they're doing?
I'm not quite clear. Basically, they said if one of them passes away, it's to take care of the shares in the company.
Yeah, that's a buy-sell. Yeah, so a buy-sell, if one passes away, basically they're buying out the family members of the other one. So it's all nice and neat. It is usually much easier to do that in term, just because the cost per dollar on face amount. But what you can do is, if you get them approved on a term, you can also say, hey, before we put this policy in force, we could look at an IUL, because on an IUL, you guys will have, if you survive the 20 years in the business, whatever, it's something that you can take with you, and you have cash value. Each one of you individually has cash value. So if it's never used, like if the term is, obviously you don't ever want to use it. Fund it, then, by the time their business or whatever, they go their separate ways, they'll each have something with value inside of it. It can grow to a point where you're making a return on everything that you put back. It's like a much better than a return of premium term policy.
Okay.
But and again, that's dependent on their health and what kind of rating and stuff they get and what the costs of insurance are. But yeah, I would say for sure, there's no reason not to look at it.
Thanks.
And
it was Caleb?
Yes, Larry. So from my understanding, there's two products. You got Everlast and Path Setter, and they both have the living benefits with them, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right, correct.
Awesome. With the Path Setter, do you guys have like an option for a surrender charge? I know some people like to access their funds sooner than, a year or two out.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like taking a loan out prior to? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could take a loan out after year one.
Okay,
and it just depends on your cash value.
Yeah.
Say that again.
With the surrender charge attached to it, I know it's like a rider that some companies have. Could they take it out before the year?
So we don't have a waiver of surrender charge rider. So I think that's what you're asking about, is a waiver of surrender charges. But our surrender charges are a percentage of the target premium. They're not a percentage of the account value as it is. So when you're looking at the Path Setter, you're doing the overfunding, the growing. Our surrender charges are typically smaller than most other carriers, so there may be more value, but I'd say with an IUL, you want to wait to start pulling money out of it until about the 5th to 6th policy year, once it's had a chance to grow and earn and those types of different things. There certainly is some available, but we don't have the ability to do any waiver of surrender charges.
Awesome.
Yeah, and typically, if you're looking at, okay, this is a perfect scenario, perfect learning opportunity. If someone wants to take money out in the first year, right, and they're not doing an annual premium, then they're basically just shooting themselves in the foot, because every single month that you put into a policy on a monthly premium, you're not getting any interest crediting on that until the next year. So if I start a policy today in February, I won't get credit on that, whatever, $200 a month I put in February, until February of next year. So anytime that you take out money in the first year on a monthly premium, I mean, even on an annual premium, if you take out anything, you're gonna kind of ruin the whole setup of the policy anyway, right? Unless they have a lump sum that's popping in there, a 1035 exchange that already has from a different policy, there's really no benefit to them to take money out before they get a return on it. It's like putting money in the stock market, and before you see any kind of return, you just pull it right back out again. The better way to do it is just to not put that money in the IUL to start with, right? So it's kind of weird, but it has to be. They have to have either a lump sum right off the bat, and you can basically tell them you can take a loan out on it, and you'll still get some kind of arbitrage, interest on it, but it's definitely not as beneficial as if you leave it in there a full year, where you're getting the full index crediting from that annual point to point.
Awesome. And for those loans, do you recommend putting that all in up front? I've heard that 5 years is the sweet spot, but for F&G, what do you recommend doing?
Yeah, 5 years for any carrier is usually a really good, if it's a significant amount of money, it's really dependent on age and health, because that's going to change the initial death benefit more than anything. So if they're young and healthy and they put in, let's say they have a $50,000 dump in, you can illustrate it both ways, but you'll see that if you do 10,000 a year for 5 years, their death benefits can be so much lower initially than if you dumped it all in at 50,000. And then they'll be just earning a lot more cash because their cost of insurance will be so much lower. But there's
Okay.
and again, it's really kind of what's important to them. Do you want to have a huge death benefit right now? If they're young and healthy, but they have a family and they have money, sometimes having a $2 million death benefit is way more important than having, a bigger income during retirement. So there's definitely both sides of the coin on that. It's a nice problem to have. But,
A premium distribution account, I'm assuming then?
yeah, we don't have a premium deposit account. No, we don't have that. But I'm not a fan of those anyway, just for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Simply because you can put your money in a Capital One savings account, make 4.5% every year, or a Robinhood account and make 5%, and you'll do way better than any PDA that's out there. You know what I mean? So and you're just basically linking one account to the other. It doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Insurance companies there's most don't have those because then they're like we can with premium money, right? So we can't really invest it the same way.
Thank you, Larry.
You got
Awesome.
it. I've put it into
I really do
annuity if you
appreciate you guys
have
for hopping on.
Larry, who's your annuity guy?
Matt Mundell is the guy that runs Family First Life, and I can put his information. You know what? Let me put it in the chat. He's going to kill me for this, but I love
Who
it.
is it? Matt
Mundell. Yeah.
He runs the annuities for F&G.
He does for Family First Life. Yeah, he's a national account manager just like me. Actually, you can call him Matthew. And then we actually hired another annuity guy, so he is going to probably be helping my out as well. His name's Lonnie. He's been in the business for 10 years. Really cool guy.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to have them on here one of these weeks to talk about the annuities.
Absolutely. Let me put his phone number in here. This is his work number, so if he doesn't know who you are, just explain it. You can text him on it. There it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Larry and Amy. You guys are awesome. I'm really looking forward to writing more of this product and putting some families in some good positions. I appreciate all of you guys for hopping on, taking the hour or so here to learn more about some awesome products and get your clients in better positions, get paid a little bit better. And let's just keep on increasing our IUL volume slowly but surely. I think we're going to be easily hitting $1 million weeks here by the end of the year, just IUL production alone.
It's crazy stuff.
Awesome. Hey, well, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to end this. I have this recorded. I'm going to start uploading all the recordings into a certain spot. Not sure where just yet. I'm going to find somewhere to upload everything and give everyone access to it. But again, Larry, Amy, I really do appreciate you guys. Everyone, God bless you and have an amazing rest of your guys' day. Let's crush it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, guys.